Hi everyone, welcome back to another FPL video on my channel. This is my Game Week 38 preview where we're going to discuss the team news, the injury updates and what that means for our teams in terms of transfers ahead of Game Week 38. I'm Senti. If you find the video helpful in any way, please do leave a like on the video. So we're going to start off with Manchester City, where Pep came out and said that it's business as usual. He's going to play the game as real as possible and see how the players feel in terms of condition. Now, I was looking at transferring out Holland for Game Week 38, but from what Pep said in the press conference, he looks like he could actually play the full team in the final fixture of the season against Brentford. Now, I think it's very important that Pep keeps the players fit and in good rhythm ahead of those two fixtures in the FA Cup final against Manchester United and in the Champions League final against Inter Milan. So I think Pep could actually play the full string team in the final fixture. So maybe transferring out Holland is something that we shouldn't be doing. Maybe we should just hold on to him and look at him maybe even as a captaincy option in Game 38. So at this point, I'm leaning towards keeping Haaland in my team and not making that switch to Harry Kane. Moving on to Manchester United, Anthony looks to be having a serious injury, so he should be out for Game 38. But on the other hand, Luke Shaw is also a doubt. So for managers that still on Luke Shaw, Ten Hag came out and said that he can't say if Luke Shaw is available for Sunday or not, and perhaps he's unlikely to take any risks. Now, looking at that FA Cup fixture against Manchester City, maybe Luke Shaw is someone that will not get involved in that final fixture at home against Fulham because there's more important fixtures that Ten Hag needs to focus on. So maybe Luke Shaw is someone that managers should be looking at as a transfer out option in Game 38. So that's something that managers will have to think about ahead of Game 38. Moving on to Liverpool, Nunez, who was not involved in Game 37, looks to be available. I think that's someone that could be a differential in Game 38. Robertson felt a growing and Klopp said that he had a scan but he's fine. But in my case, that screams rotation. I think Tsimikas would come in his position. He said we have to make sure we find a lineup with good legs and a lot of desire. He also said that he will not take any risks and it makes sense to make some changes to get some legs on the pitch and players who want to show something. For me, that screams some hard rotations in that Liverpool side. So maybe Robertson, as in my case, I own Robertson, but I think I'll be looking to try and move him on and bring in another Liverpool asset because I feel like they play against Southampton, a side that's already relegated. They do leak goals. So maybe there's a clean sheet that can be had from that Liverpool side and some attacking returns from the Liverpool assets. So Robertson out of my team in Game 38, that's something that I'm looking at. I'm probably going to be taking a hit or two just to see where I end up come Game 38. So that's something that I'll have to think about heading into Game 38. And finally, looking at Arsenal, Arteta came out and said he needs the team to finish in style and he wants to show our gratitude and receive the energy that we've been receiving all season and start to build for the next season. Now, Eric came in my mentions and questioned me for not including any Arsenal assets in my transfer plans video. To be fair, I feel like that's a game that the likes of Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah could start. So I don't really want to take any risks and bring in some Arsenal assets that I'm not really sure get involved in that final fixture of the season because if you look at it, nothing changes in terms of the table. They still finished second and Man City have already won the league. So maybe it's a fixture that maybe Arteta could rotate a lot and play other players that haven't really gotten involved during the course of the season. So I don't really want to take any risks and bring in some Arsenal assets that I don't think are guaranteed minutes in Game 38. Now, looking at my team in terms of transfers, I still think that Rashford to Dwight McNeil transfer stands. I'm still leaning towards transferring out Rashford and bringing in Dwight McNeil for that home fixture against Bournemouth because I saw Rashford against Chelsea. He still had a few problems here and there, so maybe he could be someone that could get rested as well ahead of that FA Cup final against Manchester City. So Rashford to Dwight McNeil is still on the cards. I'm looking at Robertson to Tsimikas as an option. I feel like there's a big chance that Liverpool keep a clean sheet and I could get some attacking returns against Southampton. So that's another transfer that I'm looking at as a possible transfer in Game 38. I'm also looking at going for a differential and transferring out Isak to bring in Jamie Vardy. Now, Jamie Vardy as a 1 week punt, playing at home against a West Ham side that will have their eyes on that Conference League final is a fixture that maybe we expect Leicester to do very well in. In fact, they need to get a result and hope that maybe Everton drop some points for them to survive in the Premier League. So I think Leicester could actually do very well in the final fixture of the season, even though if Everton win, they still get relegated. Jamie Vardy is someone that I'm looking at as a 1 week punt for Game 38, so he should be someone that I could be looking at as a possible transfer to bring in if I decide to transfer out Isak in Game 38. So this is how my team could line up come the deadline. I would have Ederson in goal, so Ederson stays in goal. He might not get involved in that fixture, and if he doesn't, De Gea comes in, but he's the one that takes the number 1 spot. I would have a defense line of Estupinian if I decide not to make a transfer to Robertson to Tsimikas. So Estupinian could start Dunburn and Lindelof in defense. In midfield, I would have Eze, Salah, McNeil and Mahrez, and I would have a front line of Holland, Wilson and Jamie Vardy. So I think that looks like a good enough team, and we could get some massive points from there if we get lucky, because I'm a very good points off of 500k, and I don't think anything massive could happen that could make me end up dropping out of the top million. So I think the target is to still finish in the top million, and maybe also just give it a try and give it a little push and hope that we can actually end up on a good score come Game 38. So those are some of the things that I'm considering as my final thoughts during this final game of the season. So that's it from me in this video. Like I said, if you found the video helpful in any way, please do leave a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.